Hi everybody, Giselle Grenier here from ArtPlace.ca. In today's video, I'm just going to show you how you can tint a background that's been layered with collage tissue. To save some time, I already have a piece done, and I have a video that I already did to show you a wide variety of techniques on using manufactured tissue on paper. And in a few, I think 6 or 7 videos down, I'll be showing you how to make your own tissue. So what I have here is mixed media paper, and how I prepared it was I used gesso with a 1-inch wash brush. It's a Royal Aquilon brush, and I applied a layer of gesso to this. And I did that because the mixed media paper is very porous. It would take a long time to dry. So I created the gesso to create that barrier. And once the gesso was dry, I used the napkin decoupage napkin medium, and I decoupaged this ideology paper to the mixed media paper, and I put it on by tearing up a whole bunch of pieces and then collage that down, so there's quite a bit of overlapping. So once I've got that done, and I've got some paints here, and I want to show you, now we're going to tint this tissue paper. We're going to be tinting the paper after it's already been collaged, and I want to show you the differences between using transparent, semi-transparent, and opaque paints. And for the semi-transparent and transparents, I've got the DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylics. And for the opaque, I've got this Americana Decor Chalky finish. I love these paints. Oh. Shake, shake, shake. These I don't have to shake, I use them so often. And I'm going to, so that's the order. So these are transparent. So green, gold, and cobalt teal hue are transparent. Yellow, green, light is semi-transparent. And then the chalky finish is opaque. And it has a really nice finish to it. And I'm going to grab a couple of brushes, because I don't want to spend my time cleaning brushes all the time. And I'm just going to grab a 1 3/4 inch and a little brush. We'll use a number 12. I'm going to put my medium brush in just a little bit of water. So we'll start off with the transparent colors. And I've got my palette paper here. And I'm just going to put that on there. Now, if you want to make this even more fluid without adding so much water, when you add too much water to paint, it breaks down the strength of all this stuff inside the binders and the resins, all that stuff breaks it down. You can use an actual extender or even the matte medium to extend the paint. And a little bit of water in my brush, dampen it. And now when going over this, and I can just paint over, and look, it's like a stain. The beauty of this is I can take now a baby wipe and wipe it back as much as I want to remove it. Because I've got the decoupage medium on this, that's why I can do this, because it's acting as a resist. And I can just keep wiping and wiping, wiping until it's almost all gone. Okay, but I love that look. So I can go back and go over here. And you should let it dry before you go paint over it. This is the green gold, love it. And I'll just kind of feather that out. And on camera that looks really green, it's more of a yellow. And I can just take the baby wipe and I can just pity pat it. And then whatever is the dirty stuff here, I can just go back over on the white paper. And by pity patting and just using random strokes, it looks like it's blending into the paper. Not a gradation, but almost like a gradation. That's that brush. Now I'm going to go to a different brush, and we'll go to cobalt teal hue. And I'm going to dry this with the heat gun, so you have to excuse the noise. Because these are acrylic paints, they are permanent. Okay, unlike water-soluble products like watercolors or watercolor pencils or Inktense pencils or inks, this is permanent. A little bit of water, cobalt teal hue, And then I can just, let's say, go over the butterfly. I should use a smaller brush for this. And because it's transparent, where I had put this green gold, it changes the color because these are transparent. So you're getting some visual color mixing. Optical color mixing. Where you have physical color mixing is if I were to mix the two colors together and you would get something completely different. And you can put this on as much as you want. The more layers of paint that you add, the more opaque it's going to become. So keep that in mind. And I can go here and I can just go over the edge. I'm going to flip the baby wipe over. And all I'm doing is I'm just grunging it up a little bit. This baby wipe, when you get them out of the package, they're pretty wet. You can always take them into a paper towel and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then this paper towel, I could just put it into another container and use it for something else. Now, even though this is permanent, can I wipe, wipe, wipe? I can grunge it up a little bit more because it hasn't fully set. All right, I'm gonna rinse that. I'm gonna grab a round brush, just get some of that green gold, and I'm just gonna go right inside here. And I'm just going to go just a little bit right here. And then fade that out. The Bristle Bright, the number 8 Bristle Bright that I'm always using is really good for that. I've got a little bit of the blue on top of here, and although it doesn't really matter, I can wipe that right off. So you can see just by using transparent paints, the different effects that you can get when you're using collage material. So now for semi-transparent, this is yellow, green, light. And I'll use a different brush. I just don't want to contaminate the brush that's going to be using them in another video. I hate cleaning brushes. So if this is semi-transparent, you can see that it's a little bit more intense. But you can still see through. And for myself, I don't for this particular purpose, whether it's semi-transparent or transparent, it doesn't really matter to me because they're so close. They're so close. I can add a little bit more water if I want to fade that out. Let's grunge this up a little bit. Pressing down the baby wipe, holding it for a couple of seconds. I usually use a 10 count, and then you can actually pull up some of the paint. Takes care of that. Now for the opaque. Now although it's opaque, the more layers you add, the more, the more opaque any paint's going to become. But I just want to show you the effect. And this color is refreshing. And the baby wipes, once I'm done with them, I can put them into a container and use these as background elements as well. And I want to use a tiny brush for this. Let's use a Filbert stencil brush. And if I go over here, you can see that it's much more opaque, and it's nice for just, I like it for borders. Now you can use whatever color you want. I wanted this color because I wanted it to really show up. And it's a great way to knock something back if it's too bright. So you can see putting a lot on there. And then what I can do, I'm going to get a fresh baby wipe and just press that down a little bit. Okay, lift up and then wipe off. So where I was using the heavy pressure, a lot of the baby wipes liquid got into the paint. Then when I do the wipe off, only parts of it come off. And you can use any color you want. I'm just using this one because it's just easier on camera. So it really sets a design back if you've got something that's a little bit too intense. I like the chalky finish on this. It's nice for doing a lot of grunge work. And the green, although on here it's yellow, more yellow, but on camera this looks really green. So let's just see what happens if you set this back. So that's the experiment, is basically using a combination of transparent and semi-transparent paints. I have to get used to actually saying what the experiment's going to be before the video starts. Then it all makes sense as to why I'm doing it like this. And I can just do the Spock fingers. Okay. And then just wipe back just certain areas. I can even come in, I can just do a little rub. If I want part of the background showing through, let's see where the musical notes are. Let's say I want this to show through. There's still time. I don't like doing like hard shapes. I like doing random shapes. Let that butterfly show through. So you see this really knocked down the intensity of that yellow-green light. And that's it. So there we go. One background done. So you can see where the opaque paints were and the semi-transparent. And then, well, in the beginning, the transparent paints. So there you are. So there's a background done for you. Took what, a whole of, I don't know, 13 minutes for this, and cut that down to like 5 minutes because you're not going to have to teach it, you're just going to do it. All right, so I'm off to do the next technique video, and I will see you in that lesson. In the meantime, create your background, create your own version, or copy what I did, and I would love to see what you've done. So please feel free to email me a picture, or you can share it in our private Facebook group. Contact information and the link to the Facebook group is on my website at ArtPlace.ca, and I would love to see you in there. So until then, stay inspired.